Is the stock market a scam? Is it a Ponzi scheme? This is something I hear all the time. Before I get into that, let me tell you what Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger say about predictions. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger hate predictions, as do I. When people say, that this month is going to happen, I like long-term predictions based on valuation metrics. But what they're talking about and what I'm talking about when I say I don't like when people predict, when people say, will there be a crash in October? What do you think is going to happen next month? Those kind of things. And Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger always say this. When it comes to predictions, it probably says more about the person making the prediction than it does about the actual event that's going to happen. So circle it back. Whenever I've heard people say the stock market's rigged, the stock market's a scammed, it always tells me this is the kind of person I'm talking to. Because when you sit there, people see the world not as it is, but as they are. So they see it as a scam. I look at it going, do they think they're a scam? Now you might sit there and say, well, that's crazy. Is it though? I look at it saying, why would the stock market be a scam? Now, I've criticized a lot of businesses out there, real estate agents, brokers, things like that, but I have something to back it up. I have the evidence to back it up. When I look at the money being charged by financial planners and by realtors, and then I hear the stories about, and you look at the data. For example, the data shows that realtors who list their own house list them for a lot longer than they do other people's homes. Why? Because they want to get a higher price. When you look at financial planners and their personal financial situation, it's not impressive to me. And you look at the results of their active management versus investing in a low-cost ETF, they tend to trail those investment returns. So when I sit here and I see the scam, I look at it going, if you think it's a scam, then it's just because you don't understand it. The market is what it is. The market's made up of everyday people. When I look at the bubble we've had created since COVID crash, that was created by the retail investor, the average person. Wall Street Bets was made by average people saying, let's take over Wall Street. Guess what? That's the cause of the problem. You have bubbles because of things like that. Warren Buffett always says, every bubble is based on a fundamentally good idea. But when it becomes a bubble, it's because mainstream, the average retail person, that's the average one of us, has gotten out there and exaggerated the actual real good benefit of that asset. And that's why I always laugh when I hear people say it's a scam run by Wall Street. Guys, Wall Street is stupid. They don't know what they're doing. They're a bunch of salespeople. They're there just giving everybody what they want, supply and demand. People demand more access to, people demanded Robinhood. We want access. Well, guess what happens? Go look at the average return of the stocks that Robinhood investors and Wall Street Bets wanted. It was not good. These are the stocks that all fell 70, 80, 90% in a year and a half. These are the ones they sat there and said, you want to talk about rigged? That's rigged to me. Now, am I telling you go out there and listen to Wall Street? Absolutely not. Those guys are idiots just as much. What I'm telling you is figure out who are the people out there that you respect from a financial world. For me, it's Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Seth Klarman, Howard Marks, and other long-term value investors who don't follow hype. That has made the absolute best bet for me. Look at conspiracy theories. I look at the people who call Wall Street a scam and a Ponzi scheme similar to people who believe in conspiracy theories. They want something to believe in that's really, really difficult to disprove or prove. But in their minds, if it can't be disproven, therefore it is reality. And that's not the case, guys. I always tell people who are 60, 70 years old, prove to me you didn't kill Kennedy. And they're like, well, how do I prove that? Well, show me where you were. I can't prove. Oh, so in the conspiracy theorist world, that means they're guilty of that. Is that ridiculous? Of course it's ridiculous. But think about every single person you know who's a conspiracy theorist. It's probably some weird uncle of yours who lives in a cabin out in Montana. And I get it. I believe in being a little cynical, but I don't believe in thinking everything is a scam. Just be aware of things. Just sit there. And I'm very outspoken about the things I don't trust. So it sounds like I don't trust a lot of everything. But no, I invest my money in a way that's very reliant on the general public. I get in a car every single day and drive, trusting that people are going to stay in their lanes. I look at it saying, wait a second, what is this saying that Wall Street would be a scam and a Ponzi scheme? How is that going to work? How do you sit there and look at Wall Street over the last how many years, decades, and it's gone up like this? It's given access to lots of people to be able to retire. And the people that were able to retire are the people that did one thing and one thing only. They were smart about their money. They spent less than they made, and they saved a lot of money month in, month out, year in, year out, and didn't think about anything else. But it's always these people who are doing the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Oh, Wall Street's a scam. Oh, listen, trust me, there's plenty of scamsters on Wall Street. And I think in general, if you go to actively managed funds, there is less wealth created than if you just bought a low-cost ETF. But that doesn't mean it's a scam. It just means that's the way it is. They're good at marketing. And that's fine. But don't think that it means it's a Ponzi scheme and a scam that's manipulated by a few people. Why would a few people ever allow a crash then? Why? Because they're going to make money off the crash? Why are they allowed to run up? Why do they all of a sudden decide one day, we're going to let this thing happen? That's not the way it works. The way it works is, if you ever look at all the bubbles in history, it's when the average person gets into those investments that the super, super parabolic rises happen. That's the bubble part. Go look at stocks in 2000. Go look at real estate in 2006 and 2007. When you started seeing everyday people all getting into those assets and investments, that's when it's got stupid. Hello, Bitcoin. Can we talk about Bitcoin for 1 second? When I'm being told by high school kids how I'm wrong on Bitcoin and Tesla, I look at it going, that's the scam. That is the scam. It's not Wall Street doing that. They're just going to sit there and give you whatever you want because they're there to make money. They're very open about that. They're a bank. They're banks. They are bankers. They're there to make money. Now, are they going to make it seem like they're financial smart people? Great. But that's why you're here watching this. I will tell you what they really are, and that's salespeople. And I'm fine with that. Stay in your lane. But don't blame somebody else for the problems that have occurred and the bubbles that will burst. It is nobody else's fault. You know, I will say, in the movie The Big Short, I didn't like it that they made it seem like there were a lot of victims who were everyday people. I remember seeing everyday people investing in things and looking at me like I was stupid because I didn't buy into the hype. Oh, Paul, go look at our comments. Go look at a year and a half ago, our videos. Average people telling me how dumb I didn't get it. And in the next 2 or 3 years, how I will be vindicated even more than I already am. And then people will sit there and they'll be quiet. And those were everyday people telling me I was wrong. I get it. I understand that. But you have to realize that when they talk about the Ponzi scheme, they are the Ponzi scheme. But you're watching this video and you've watched it long enough, so you realize there's more to it than just everybody sitting there and blaming everybody else. Take charge of your money. Dollar cost average. It's proven to work. If you dollar cost average, you'll probably make somewhere around 9 or 10% over a long period of time on your money. You know why? Because when stocks go like this over the long run, but the Wall Street manipulation goes like that, great, make money off the Wall Street manipulation. Buy high, buy low. Buy high, buy low. If it's manipulated, play your own game. You'll overpay, you'll underpay. But over long periods of time, you'll pay exactly what the market does. And you'll crush all those Wall Street manipulators. So if this is your first time watching, I'm Paul, I'm a value investor. And you might be looking at me thinking, well, why should I listen to this guy? And I get that. But if you go look at our library of 1,800 some videos, 1,700 videos, we do stock reactions, I react to news, but I've always come from it from a financial perspective and a long-term perspective. And I'm not sitting here trying to say that the world's falling apart. I assess everything based on where I see values. And there was a time in the past when I said values are great. That's not today. And there'll be a time in the future when things are so bad that you want some positive news and you come to this channel and you will hear it. When stocks are lower, I say this is awesome. And I will do that as stocks go lower. Do I think stocks are a great value today? No. But does that mean you shouldn't invest? Absolutely. We don't know where it's going to go tomorrow. But I guarantee you one thing, that if stocks fell 80% today, some crazy number, you see me going, oh my gosh, these values are going to make so much sense in the long run. And that's what you're here to do. You're here to understand that you should be reacting based on values and not based on the emotion of what you see in the news. Because the emotion of the news will sit there and be dictated by where the markets are today. Today, the markets are down 4%. All the news is how bad things are because of inflation. If tomorrow the markets go up 3%, it'll be all the great news about whatever justifies that 3% rise. So pull yourself away from that. Follow this channel and you'll understand how I look at things from a long-term perspective. So if you like this video, you need to watch the next video, how the upcoming recession could be the opportunity of a lifetime, because it explains exactly this. Thank you very much for watching this video and please subscribe. Many would say that we are currently in a recession or one is very imminent. Do I know? I have no idea.